actually discontinued. Because when you were in custody, you obviously had an interview, you admitted to posting the leaflets through the doors,
Yeah.
and that's obviously all on video recording.
That's fine.
So what they decided
But I'd be pleading not guilty for obvious reasons.
No,
I was driven to it.
Yeah.
Because I put in complaints against the police, everyone else. Yeah, go on, sorry, go on.
Let me carry on, because it might help with just a little bit of understanding. So, when you finished your interview, what the police would have done with the custody sergeant, because the custody sergeant is the person that authorises the charge, unless it's a Crown prosecution charge.
And I was put on bail.
So yeah, you were charged, so they thought there was sufficient evidence to prosecute you for that offence, and then you were charged to court, and then obviously some procedures happen in court, which is the preliminary hearing.
Yeah.
So what happens is the Crown Prosecution Service then pick up the case. So
Yeah.
after charge is the Crown Prosecution Service. And they will then look at the case, and they will see whether all the criteria is met. They may look at different offences, and then they will take the matter through the court process. So
It wasn't the CPS who dropped it at the magistrate, it was the police.
No, it's the CPS.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why.
But after I phoned. You're telling me it's too much of a coincidence I phoned for my mental health records. Right. The people I'm being charged with harassments for works for Cwmtath Health Authority. And it was dropped on the 28th. I don't think a jury will find that.
The reason it was dropped is because they looked at the offence you were charged with, and they didn't think the criteria was. So
they agreed that Sullivan got little Willie and he was shoving it up Blackmore's mouth?
No, they didn't agree that.
They must have.
No, they didn't. And that's not the point. What they've looked at is the legislation of harassment, and they've looked at what you did, and then they've said this doesn't quite fit. They did look at other offences, which is malicious communications.
Well, malicious communications.
There was different bits of law. So there's an offence of malicious communications, there's the offence of harassment, and they looked at other offences that you may have actually committed.
Right.
But they decided that it wasn't quite complete for any of those offences.
Right, so there we are then. So when the leaflets will go back out, if they committed no crime.
Right. What I will say...
I don't care what you say, to be quite frank.
No, and I'm not...
I want everyone to know what's gone on.
Let me say, to explain, because it's important that you have the kind of, just a little bit of a warning, is that...
Warn me all you want, they're going out.
I know, and that's fine.
And they're going out in an English city.
That's fine. So, what they did say is that if certain other elements have been met, so say for example, if a letter had gone through, the person had picked it up immediately, they'd read it and been alarmed by it, they mentioned that may well have completed. Because one witness wasn't willing to go to court that did that, they weren't then willing to run the prosecution because they thought that it would fail.
I'll just have to make sure there's enough people get it that they will then.
Right.
Because you were lucky that my knees were knackered that day and I picked Ulgerico, otherwise there would have been many more.
But just for you to know...
Champion, I need to get more leaflets out so more people come to court to press charges. All I want to know, champion. And I'll plead not guilty and then everything will have to come out in court.
And that's fine, but as long as you understand,
Brilliant.
Yeah, by putting the leaflets out, it may result in...
I couldn't give a fuck.
And that's fine, but...
Here we are, it's a night away, innit?
I've warned you though.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are then.
I just didn't want to not...
I'll just have to pick a time where the slappers are not going to Cardiff, where the police don't need an hand job, where they don't need an hand job. The Black Mariahs will be full then, won't they? I'll have to pick that time, eh?
Then when it goes to court...
We can all come out.
Everything that's on the leaflet...
It'll have to come out.
Okay. And that's fine.
There we are. That's all I need.
Yeah.
The numbers, boy.
Well, wait a minute now. We still haven't established why.
So we were on the spar.
I want to know why I was phoned by a sergeant. Yeah. And I've given you his Christian name.
Can we go back to the spar one? Because I haven't
finished
that one. So you had a complaint put in about that. Can you say what they said again? So,
do you know who these youths are? They bang in the door of a vulnerable mental. And you wanna, if I was you, Sunshine, because it has been an unholy alliance made between the police, the mental health and the council. Well, the three of you have been in it together.
But that complaint is about the police officer who
said
that those words.
But I've had it from a letter from Merthyr Council.
Right.
And my sister had it, saying, where they admitted, because in all fairness, what they've tried doing is blaming that poor bugger for my information being given out. And I spoke to the ICO and they said it came from that